Right, thank you for joining tonight's class on love, meditations on love. I'll keep it really simple. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy necessarily, but going to keep it nice and simple. So we're going to meditate on universal love, love for everyone. That's why it's not necessarily easy, because of him down the road and her down the road and them in my old job and that bloke on the news, all that sort of thing. So we need to have a way of seeing beyond the ordinary, seeing beyond the ordinary, because our minds like the ordinary. They don't like the extraordinary. Because our mind flits between our mind takes a certain bit of information and extrapolates it into everything. So somebody's all good, they're all bad, we're totally indifferent to them. And we all do it to some degree, maybe we don't do it all the time, but we do it to some degree. And it's just not true. It's just not true. Somebody who might be annoying to us might be lovely to somebody else. And they're the same. So the difference is us. Just our karma, if you like, our inclinations, our preferences. And some people are downright terrible in what they do. So how do we get universal love? Well, I remember watching a documentary on Fred West and Rose West. They were serial killers, even their own children buried in the house. And there's an interview with one of their children who'd lived. And they said, what's your view of your mum and dad? Excuse me. And they said, horrendous, atrocious, doesn't get any worse. And yeah, I still love them because they're my parents. And if somebody whose parents were serial killers can do that, then I think there's the scope for us to be able to do that, to have that extraordinary mind. And we want people to have that extraordinary mind towards us, don't we? We want our friends and our family to love us in a way that's not got this partiality in it. Are you worthy of my love, or what did you do yesterday? Are you worthy of my love? Did you agree with me last week? Did you get angry? Did you get angry? Universal unconditional love isn't interested in any of those things. The only basis, if there even is a basis for universal love, for unconditional love, is existence. You can't love something that doesn't exist. I don't know, that's a bit philosophical. Maybe we can. But generally, we can love everything and everyone because they exist. It's what we want other people to apply to us. I love you simply because you exist. Parents visit their children in prison when everyone else has given up on them, and they don't condone what they do, but they're the ones that turn up. They love them. They still love them. And we could do this for our children. We still love them. Or maybe we couldn't, but we can aspire to that. Maybe we would. We can aspire to that. We can exercise that muscle in meditation. So we could go to the gym and we can exercise a certain muscle, certain muscle, and make it stronger and more flexible and toned. And we can do that with our mind. We can flex certain emotional muscles, if you like. And some of those mental muscles are extraordinary, like unconditional love. that sees beyond the nitty-gritty, actually allows for the nitty-gritty. So we'll do a body relaxation and a breathing meditation. And I'll weave unconditional love into this as well. If you'd like to get yourself comfortable. So we can despise what somebody's done, but still love the person. Picture the room that you're in. This brings our mind into the present moment. From worrying about the future and getting annoyed and sentimental about the past. To bring the mind into the present. We can take physical pain, so we can take some emotional discomfort, even if it's here now in this moment. I've got a blister at the moment. It's no big deal. We get a blister as an adult and we just carry on. In fact, kids get blisters and carry on. So if we have some soreness in our mind, it's just like having a bit of a blister. And bring your awareness to your body. Now we can have unconditional love for our body because it exists. We may dislike our whole body. We may dislike parts of our body. We may compare it to the past and compare it to what we want our body to be in the future. We can bring this unconditional love to our body. No matter what it's done, maybe it's broken down, maybe it doesn't work right, maybe it's not the way we want it. We can love it unconditionally. And if there's resistance to that, then we can note it. And we can think for our body. We get joy from our body. We get pleasure from our body, through our body. We can only hug the people we love because of this body. It's taken us places we've thought were amazing because of this body. Just allow yourself to feel some love towards your own body. Maybe it's created life. Maybe it's created wonderful other human beings. And now we bring our awareness to our thoughts. The mind exists. There isn't no consciousness. There is consciousness. It exists, and therefore we can love our mind. Maybe it sometimes tortures us, disturbs us, busies us, berates us, tells us off. And then there's other times when it thinks things that are beautiful. It cares, it considers, it thinks ahead for others. But ultimately, it simply exists, and that is a basis for love. So we can develop some love towards our mind. Yeah, life itself is magical. No one understands it. No one has any idea why it's occurring at all, or even what's causing it. Unbelievably magical. Where do thoughts come from? Where do they go to? Why do they come up? So it's magical. We have a body to console others and love them and cherish them, and a mind to cherish and love too. So we've met with our body and our thoughts. We're now going to meet with our feelings. Bring your awareness into your body. Notice what feelings are here. Feelings are allowed. Feelings aren't wrong. No feeling is wrong. What we might do with the feelings may be wrong. We may lash out and use hurtful words or hit. But feelings themselves are not right or wrong. And we all have them. We all have the same ones. We're not bad for having feelings. And we have some beautiful ones, some deeply heartfelt ones as well. Including regret. One of the most beautiful minds is regret. People say, I don't want to have any regrets. Well, sometimes it's regret that causes us to hug people, say sorry, moderate our behavior. Bury the hatchet, make up, forgive. So regret's a beautiful mind in some ways. What's here now? I'll leave you for a couple of minutes to just observe your feelings with unconditional love. They're not right or wrong. Maybe in your throat or your chest or your belly. If your mind wanders away, come back to this feeling. If it's difficult, still come back to it. Like we can still walk a bit with a blister. It's not the end of the world. Okay, so we've met with body, thoughts, and feelings. Now we're going to relax our body more. Bring your awareness to your face. Let your face muscles relax, including your jaw, both sides. Now we go to our left shoulder, scan down the arm, and the hand and the fingers. We can have unconditional love for our left arm and hand. The kindness it's shown, the hugs it's given, the fact that it exists, simply that. Grown from cells, it's a miracle. Grown from tiny little cells inside of our mother's body. Now we bring our awareness to our right shoulder. We do the same exercise. Scan down any tightness, loosen off all the way to your fingertips. Now bringing the awareness to the left hip. Gently scan down, keeping your focus clear and nice. Scan down the thigh and the calf and the feet and the toes. Up in the left leg. This miracle that's grown from these little cells that propels us around. And the same from the right hip, just the same thing. And now we bring our awareness to our shoulders and our neck. Imagine they're merged with complete love. Your shoulders and your neck are just marinated with love. That melts away any tension, any worries and burdens. Love doesn't carry burdens. Love doesn't carry burdens. It's in the moment and it deals with what's here tenderly. And now we visualize black smoke inside of our body swirling around. And bound up in it is our tendencies to see things in ordinary ways, not extraordinary ways. The fickle, the small, the different. We all get bound up in that, caught up in that. With 3 nice, steady, deep out breaths, imagine the ordinary mind mixes with the black smoke and disappears out of the nostrils into the distance. 3 nice, steady, deep out breaths. Imagine that your mind is profound. Imagine that your mind recognizes the whole infinite space that everything arises within. Imagine infinite space. infinitely within you and infinitely outside of you. Everything is held by this space. Imagine this space is love. This infinite space is love. It accepts everything. It's inside of you, infinitely inside of you, infinitely outside of you. An image of infinite space, and then recognize this as pure acceptance, pure love. The mind creates the universe. If our mind is love, then the universe is love. If our mind recognizes acceptance and stillness, we created a universe of love. If we've done this, we've rescued all living beings. We've been like a Buddha, because living beings appear in this space. They don't appear anywhere else. If our mind is love, it's all love. Now, as you breathe in, imagine you're breathing in the whole universe. And imagine you breathe out the whole universe. Imagine you're breathing in the whole universe of stillness, infinite love into you. And as you breathe out a whole universe of infinite still love. Allow this universal love to permeate your body and your mind as you breathe in. Allow it to be deeply received. Go to where it needs to within your body and your mind. It can hold anything it finds and accept it just as it is. Your anger, your shame, your guilt, your exhaustion, your craving. Your past and your future. Imagine this beautiful, loving stillness holds your whole past, present, and future. Everything within that past, present, and future is loved. Anything that happens in the future is held by this stillness, this acceptance. Stillness has infinite possibilities. Anything can arise from stillness, from space. As you breathe in, imagine you're breathing in a whole universe of love, of stillness, of space. As you breathe out that universe of love and stillness and space. We can have clairvoyance because we're not separate from anything. The oxygen we're breathing in has previously been breathed out of a tree. We tend not to think in this extraordinary way. We tend to think ordinarily. But each breath is the out breath of a tree. It's giving us life. It's literally giving us life. We're breathing in the out breath of a tree. That tree asks for nothing from no one. That's love. Love asks for nothing from no one. It gives benefit. Trees are like the perfect example of love. They give life and ask nothing. And the sun ultimately is mother to all things. The sun has created everything that's alive on this earth and will be alive on this earth. And it asks for nothing. Children ask, where do I come from? Well, the answer is actually the sun. Okay, now we're going to consider that all living beings are a basis for unconditional love because it has no conditions. Unconditional love sees beyond the ordinary. The love of a mother sees beyond the ordinary, sees the hot tears of a baby and all it wants is for the baby to be at peace and sees the baby and sees it beautifully. So imagine the stillness that's inside of you and the stillness that's outside of you is one stillness. It is. The breath inside of you and the breath of all the trees is one breath. Recognize the stillness inside of you in each atom, in each air follicle, in each thought, in each feeling. Is just part of infinite space that accepts things as they are. And allow yourself to feel part, not a separate part or a little part, but the universe. And recognize the space within all living beings is the same space that's within you. There's no stop and no start. There's no edge, no surface, no corner to space. And imagine all living beings within the same space that's within you. And allow yourself to feel the complete accepting love that's within this space, that just lets things be. We tend to focus on the stuff and not the space. There's a million stories about the stuff, but there aren't a million stories about the space. There is only one story about the space. It just accepts, just is love. Whether it's the space in our heart, in our mind, in our mouth, in our bones, in the garden, above our head, in our bed, in the sky, in outer space. One space. You're not in the universe, you are the universe. Space. I'll leave you for a few minutes to enjoy this recognition that you're not passing through the universe, you are the universe, you are that space, there's nothing separate from it, and that it's completely accepting and still. It allows the busy thoughts, it allows the feelings. Imagine that your body and your mind and your feelings just melt into space. They just gradually spread out and are melted back into pure love. There's no point where a river becomes an estuary, becomes a sea, becomes an ocean. It's just one body of water. The infinite space of the universe is one body of space. Imagine your body, your thoughts, your feelings just melt back into that whole universe of space. The thoughts melt back into it. The feelings melt back into it. If we look close enough through a microscope, we find that all atoms are just space. So even our body is just a performance of the space. Okay, before we come out of meditation, we can allow ourselves to feel the whole of that space, the whole of the universe. And as we open our eyes, we remain aware that there is the space of the whole universe, so that we maintain an extraordinary view as we open our eyes. Ordinary view will come back after a while, but for now, just hold this extraordinary view as you open your eyes so that you can enjoy it. Thank you. Okay, thanks for joining in. If you want to join in more classes like this, then you can sign up to the reminder newsletter on the front page of my website, paulfollows.com. There are more meditations like this on my YouTube channel, Paul Follows Meditation. Just finally, there aren't really any goals. There's just space recognizing itself. Goals are a way of that space not recognizing itself. It thinks there's something to find. How can there be anything to find if everything's space? How can there be anything more to achieve if everything's just space? What are we achieving? Space. What are we getting? More space. Can't get more space. Can't get more stuff, really. Right, thanks for joining in. Hope you have a nice, well, this is going out, we're doing this at in the evening, so hope you have a nice sleep. We have a nice restful rest of the evening, and lots of love. Take care. Bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
That was nice. Thank you.
Pleasure. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.